Okay, next question, 38. Identify the electrophile and the nucleophile in each of the following steps. Draw curved arrows to show bond making and bond breaking. So these are very essential skills to have. They're very fundamental skills. And if this kind of question makes you uncomfortable still, you should practice this until you are no longer uncomfortable with it. Because especially if you're planning on going on to Organic 2, if you are uncomfortable identifying electrophiles and nucleophiles and showing bond making and bond breaking, you're going to be in for a lot of trouble later on. So it would behoove you to really get comfortable with it now. Okay, so first step, electrophile and nucleophile. Again, the electrophile is basically saying loving, so the electron-loving species will be the species that is already deficient in electrons. So in that case, the electrophile for this case is going to be this guy right here. So this is our electrophile. And the nucleophile is going to, again, be loving. Nucleo is nucleus, so positive loving. The positive loving compound will be the one that already has an excess of electron density. So this is going to be our nucleophile. Okay, so that's the first bit. The second bit is draw curved arrows to show bond making and breaking. Again, the nucleophile is always going to be the originator of the electrons. The electrophile is always going to be the receiver of the electrons. So we will begin always on the nucleophile and end on the electrophile. The electron origins start at the chlorine. They will end at the positively charged carbon. So you can draw the electron ending either on the positive charge. So you could draw this a couple different ways. You could draw it like this. As long as I see that you're forming a bond between this carbon and this chlorine, that's one way. You could end it, or you could draw it like this. And I would understand then that because you know that that positive charge is on this carbon, you're forming a new bond between this chlorine and this carbon. And that either one of those is totally fine. Okay, and so this is the bond making process. This is the new bond between that chlorine and that carbon. Okay, and because this chlorine started off with, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 electrons, one of these lone pairs were used to form this new bond, and the other 3 lone pairs are still there. So they're still going to hang out around the chlorine, and that's going to be our neutrally charged species at the end. So there are still 2 more of these sub-questions, sub-question B and C. Try to do those on your own, and hopefully they'll be pretty easy to do.